everyone. I am Pavas. I am an organizational researcher at Jindal Institute of Behavioral Sciences. We bring to you topics of interest to our audiences from areas ranging from psychology, behavioral sciences, organizational development, leadership, etc. I have with me Professor Dr. Sanjeev P. Sahni. Dr. Sahni has got 32 years of experience in industry, academia, and government organizations. Welcome, Dr. Sahni. Today we are going to talk about the future of work as an upcoming area of interest not just to researchers and academicians, also to industry practitioners and general populations. So Dr. Sahni, as we enter this new work reality amid this unprecedented crisis that we have all been into for the last 1.5 years and more than that now, do you in fact think that leaders saw it coming, organizational leaders and leaders in general, this health crisis that we are into?
First of all, I must compliment you. This is a very good topic, which most of us, we are talking almost every day, but we have no idea that how it started and how it is going to finish. So your question that whether leaders were able to see it well in advance, my answer is no. In fact, we are getting very conflicting results these days. One says that, we are prepared, the certain industry says, but few industries like aviation industry or hospitality industry, they are in terrible shape because they never thought of getting this in such a large scale. But obviously, the best leaders are trying to see that how we can make use of this particular period as a more profitable venture, or may not be profitable, at least they can sustain in their businesses.
Sir, so you have headed one of the biggest organizations in the country. You have been the strategic HR head of that organization. And what are the realities of organizations post-pandemic? How have things changed from an HR practitioner's perspective and also from a strategic leadership perspective?
For HR, I don't think there is any change as such. Rather, the HR people have learnt few good things during this period. The first is that you need not to have a person for an interview physically. All of us, we can organize these things online. Two, many times, people used to, when they were coming physically, they have to travel, they have to come at a particular time, and then they may be there for the whole day. But now what is happening, even at night time or early morning, depending what is suiting people, you can organize that. I don't think that HR people in terms of training and management, development, or even recruitment, or even performance management system have ever had any kind of dent on it, like if they could not work it. Rather, we have learnt it so very well that during Corona time, during lockdown, we could carry out all the recruitment, we could carry out all the training and development programs, so as performance management. So it is a good lesson, at least for the HR people.
So the changes that you talked about, by no means they seem small changes, even at a macro level and also at a micro level of the employee. So how do you think have things changed for the employee per se, from his perspective or her perspective?
Employees basically of any organization, irrespective of government or private. Now there is a difference because government people think that they are secured, but the private people are living under insecurity and uncertainty. So you can't compare these two, in fact. Now, we are, especially the employees, that we are afraid that we might not lose our job. We are afraid that are we getting a full salary? Are we getting a salary on time? Whether I'm going to get a promotion or not, whether I'm going to get increments or not. So all those kind of things are going on in employees' mind. Not only that, when employee goes home, the children are at home, they're not going to go to school, and wife is also obviously is having a much more work if she is working, and plus having a household chores, plus she is looking after children as well, she's definitely much more drained out these days because of this. Then what happens is that people have started jumping on each other's toes, and there are much more fights at home as well. There are number of cases which we have seen that domestic abuse have also increased at household. So there is an uncertainty in the office, and there is a little chaos at home also. That makes a person much more vulnerable in terms of insecurity, insensitivity, as well as anxiety. No wonder that these days we have much more psychosomatic issues in every home, whether these are children or husbands or wife, or mostly for the relationship.
Insightful, sir, extremely insightful, because the multiple level analysis that you did at the individual level, the group level, and the country level also, it tells us a lot. For a lot of organizations who have to operate under certain margins of taking care of their cash flow and other things, online collaboration has become a new reality in many industries. You talk of tech, a bit of consulting, even some departments in, say, manufacturing, and of which you have a wide experience. So how do you think online collaboration has fared in the last 2 years? Because now we at least have some cues about how this all works. And what are your views about it? What are the impediments?
First of all, we cannot make it a generalized statement on this, because few of the industries could not do well because of online. Few of the industries are booming. Now, just to give you a small example, that pharmaceutical industry, although the manufacturing is also doing well, but now we have online portals where you can order and the things can be delivered. They're doing very well. Similarly, that the takeaway restaurants, stuff is doing very well. But there are few, like you are not going to the travel agencies. They are all failure at the moment because they don't have any work. Similarly, people are reluctant to go to hotels and stay over there. They are in a big mess. But believe me or not, we have learnt a lot during this corona, that we can do quite a lot of things online, which we would have never ever thought of doing all this online. The reason being, we never practiced, we never thought of. And nowadays, even a kindergarten school children, they know that they can learn through online. Think about it. A class 1 student, a primary school students. Now, I know that the students who are 5 years of age, they've never seen school right now because they've never been there. It's all closed from the last 1.5 years. Now, those people are learning, so they are becoming more tech savvy. And let me also tell you, because of this, that they will learn to operate gadgets, 1. 2, they think that online is a realistic thing, that then they start accepting those kind of things. In fact, not only commuting time, but also the number of things which we were thinking is impossible. Now, the classic example, again, I will give it onto the education. Libraries are online. You can get all kind of e-resources today. Earlier, we used to get a journal, physical one, we used to read it, and now we are onto a system that even the publishing companies have given us a free of cost access to their database, and most of the researchers can go onto it. So online has also given us, rather I would say taught us, many new things, and that also we can do these things very well. But I cannot make it a generalized statement. It is being a wonderful opportunity for certain industry and may not be for another.
Interesting how like all the industries have this different reality in which they are living within the same pandemic. So a lot of interpersonal interaction happens when people meet physically in offices, and we personally work in this higher education institute. You are researching, there's a flow of ideas, you are talking to other people, benefited. In tech industry where people are writing code, they have to interact, and it just helps. So a lot of social capital gets created in the process. Social capital in the sense of people interacting with each other, benefiting with each other, extremely less friction of information flow. So how do you think social capital gets facilitated in an online environment, and that it dies down in an online, it decreases over a period of time when you are not meeting physically? How does the organization rejuvenate that?
I can give you multiple answers to your question. First of all, I can say that not in all the industries social capital is necessary, because you don't come to organizations to make friends. Yes, wherever there is a teamwork, there you need another people, help, support, ideas, opinions. But in the most of the industry part, you talk about a manufacturing industry, you have a department, you need not to meet to another people, you need not to know who else are working. And that's also, in the metropolitan cities, nobody knows who are their immediate neighbor. So I personally feel if I'm talking about only a business, I will see that whether social capital is must for my business or it can even deteriorate my business. So that is one. The second is that, if you take the example of a professors, we probably don't require a social capital unless it is a interdisciplinary research. Otherwise, people are absolutely can do their own research and can do it. So my question is not necessary. And now we have learnt also that initially, probably, let's say if I was meeting my sister like every quarter, 4 times in a year, being into the same city, but probably now I'm meeting every week online. And I don't think that unless I touch a person that I'm going to get something or that person will be more satisfied. No. So all these things are happening well. Rather, I would say there is a lot of saving of time. Now initially, many people come in the corporate houses and they spend like 12 hours and 14 hours out of that, maybe spending 2 hours for smoking a cigarette or 2 hours for having a coffee with each other or chit-chatting and all that. That has all been stopped. And are we not? I think we have become more productive. No wonder most of the publishing house, you try to publish in journal, they said that 7 times more manuscripts are coming for publications than during Corona time. Why? Because now the researchers are relatively free, they are interested to publish, they are devoting or focusing completely what they are doing. I think, I should say that Corona, for certain people, because of this isolation, they have become more productive. Try to see the other side, because what you're talking about, social capital, could be a theoretical things. Yes, in very few industries it is required as well, I do understand. But in most of the industries, it's not required. Everybody needs to perform their best. And this time we have learned we can do it online as well.
Extremely insightful, sir, all the things that you talked about, and it was just a wholesome picture into how things work, and there are certain mistakes that my conception also had, but then you enlightened our viewers and myself as well in this process by telling about certain industries that do not lead some things that we assume mistakenly would be required. Thank you, sir, for all the knowledge that you bestowed upon us. And so this was Dr. Sahni, and we talked about the future of work as a part of our JIBS Infotainment series. And I hope it was useful to us. Please do not forget to put your comments in the comment boxes, and it will be beneficial for us as a community.